I'll never forget that day. Sunlight filtered through the dense canopy of trees, painting the forest floor in patches of gold and shadow. Dry bark and fallen leaves crackled beneath our feet, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of berries and old wood. My wife Emily and I set out on another weekend excursion, our favorite way to escape the city's bustle and everyday worries. We lived at the edge of this forest in a wooden cabin that had given us a sense of security for years, until that moment. Deep in the heart of the woods, between a fallen oak and an ancient stump, something glinted in the moss. Emily stopped and pointed to the ground. "Look, is that a stone?" she murmured. I knelt and brushed aside the damp moss. In my hand I held a heavy find, a tooth-shaped stone nearly a foot long, pointed, with a yellow-white polished surface. It looked like a fragment of some ancient relic. "It looks like mammoth tusks," I said. "But why is it so heavy?" Emily's lips curved into an excited tremble. "We have to bring it home." When we returned, the air in the living room felt suddenly cooler. I placed the toothstone on the mantel beside old clocks and porcelain figurines. The wood walls seemed to absorb the fire's warmth, and the stone took on a faint blue, icy hue. "It fits here perfectly," Emily purred. That very same evening, I was awoken by tapping from the hallway, soft, rhythmic, like footsteps in wooden clogs. I slipped out of bed but found only absolute silence. No draft, no animal. Emily slept beside me, breathing steadily. The next morning we discovered broken glass from a shattered portrait on the floor. The frame remained intact, the nails driven deep. There was no logical explanation for its fall. That night the tapping returned, louder and relentless, making sleep impossible. With each passing night, something grew stronger. I heard whispers, indistinct words murmured behind the walls. Emily claimed she heard nothing, but I saw fear in her eyes. I woke drenched in sweat, feeling a weight pressing my chest, my heart pounding like a hammer. One night, a sharp pain tore through my side as though invisible claws had raked me. I cried out. Emily instinctively grabbed my arm. Beneath the covers I saw 5 long bleeding scratches. The wounds were fresh. I had no memory of how they'd appeared. "Look at this," she whispered, terrified. The following night, I looked in the mirror and saw a round, bruised bite mark on my neck. Emily discovered 2 identical wounds on her calf, deep, like vampire fangs. We exchanged disbelieving glances. It couldn't be a shared hallucination. Desperate, I took the toothstone and locked it in a metal box, which I hid on the highest shelf in the basement. We sat in the living room holding hands for an hour, but no peace came. Soon I heard a low growl inches from my ear. Against my better judgment, I whispered, "Who's there?" Something moved in the darkness. A cold touch brushed my eyelids and I felt a quiet crack, like thin bones snapping. I awakened lying on the floor, Emily cradling me in her arms. The box had vanished, and on the mantel remained only a dark patch of ash. At dawn, the house looked battered. Overturned pictures, scattered shards of glass, shifted furniture. We sat in silence, both unharmed yet soaked in fear. Emily whispered, "This isn't over." We both knew she was right. The toothstone, a primal guardian of something we should never have touched, would return one day to claim its price.